Dozens of anti-government demonstrators were met with heavy force by police in Managua. After 6 months of unrest, more Nicaraguan citizens are calling on the government of President Daniel Ortega to end the violent repression of political opponents.
We are being repressed. They won't let us march. They're violating our constitutional right to protest.
Almost as soon as the demonstration began, police vehicles full of riot officers confronted the crowd. Some protesters clashed with officers and were beaten with clubs. Many of the demonstrators were women who were dragged away screaming.
We're on the streets of Managua. The Nicaraguan police had announced yesterday that any protest against the government today would be considered illegal and would not be allowed. Despite this, we've seen several people come out on the streets and protest the government. The police have started arresting one by one each one of these peaceful protesters, as well as attacking members of the press. I was recently, my producer and I were recently hit with the tear gas canister.
Members of the press were forced to huddle together for safety as the arrests unfolded. The Nicaraguan police have used physical violence against journalists during demonstrations. This latest protest in Managua was meant to represent the first demonstration by an organized political coalition of activists calling themselves the Alliance for a National Unity.
The whole thing is just terrible. The provocation against the people is too much. It's too much. There has to be an end to this. All of us have had enough.
A heavy militarized police presence across much of downtown Managua prevented any more anti-government protesters from gathering on the streets of the city. The police have criminalized dissent in the country, meaning supporters of the government are the only Nicaraguan citizens allowed to demonstrate on the streets. Manuel, Rapalo, Jazeera, Managua.